All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning if you are tuning in from the West Coast. Thank you so much for joining our All About Auto Route session. The goal of today is to talk a little bit more about one of the newest features in Good Shuffle Pro, give you a quick demonstration of how it works, and of course, answer any quick questions that you have before we do schedule some one-on-one time with you and your customer success manager. That being said, as you guys can see, the chat is open right now. Feel free to drop on in where you're tuning in from. Looks like we have Ryan coming on in from Minnesota. We have Lauren from Madison, Wisconsin. We have Joni from Gravenhurst, Ontario. Love to see some of our friends from up north. One of the moderators here, Colin, he is our principal customer success manager, hails from Winnipeg. So he's also thrilled to see a couple of folks coming in from Canada tuning on in. All right, gonna wait just another minute or two, folks, while everyone else starts to come on into the room. We have plenty of attendees coming on in. We do have our three moderators today. So we have a onboarding specialist, Dominique. We have a senior customer success manager, Makata, and our principal customer success manager, Colin. They're going to be helping you guys out in a minute or two. I'm going to be closing down the chat. All questions can be directed to our Q&A. And the lovely three moderators that we have are going to be answering those questions in that Q&A. I'm going to be leading the session, talking about some things. So at any point, if you guys have questions, please drop it in the Q&A. We have all hands on deck to get your questions answered quickly. And of course, if it's something that you'd like to see again, we're going to be sending a link in just a moment or two of how you could book some time with your account manager. So we're going to drop that into the chat right now. If anybody would like to book some dedicated time with their account manager, you can click on that link, use the email that you use to log into Good Shuffle Pro. We're happy to book some one-on-one time to further talk about dispatch or anything else. That being said, we're going to get started here in just a moment. Right before we do close down the chat, though, I have one more question I want to ask you guys. My name's Jake. I'm a customer success manager here, like I mentioned. What is your favorite song to listen to before you do load in for an event? Something to hype you up. As you may or may not know, I have been a wedding DJ for almost 16 years now, which is mildly disturbing when I think about it. I've DJ'd hundreds and hundreds of private events, and one song that always gets me going is One More Time by Daft Punk. I put that on to load in. I put that on as the last song of the night. Go ahead and drop in the chat right before we get started. What is that song to kind of pump you and the team up a little bit before you start loading in for an event? Got DMX Party Up. That is always a good one that came to the hosts and panelists. We have Yeah by Usher that also came to the hosts and panelists. Thank you guys for throwing that in. We have Monsters by Shinedown. That's a great one. Love to see that. Colin is Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. It's an absolute jam, Colin. Love to see that. So folks, take another moment or two before we close down the chat. What is your favorite song to listen to before you load in for an event? Oh, you have Alan jumping in with Welcome to the Jungle. Carly threw into the hosts and panelists anything by Creed. Carly, quite literally this morning on my way home from the gym, I was belting Higher as loud as I possibly could. And I'm pretty sure other people in the gym parking lot were like, what are you doing? As I started playing it leaving. Doesn't matter. Creed is a great choice. And the last one for now, we have Hustling by Rick Ross coming in from Dario. Thank you, Dario, for dropping that in. All right. Definitely a couple of tunes to add to my pump up playlist. I appreciate you guys. We're going to go ahead and close down the chat right now. We're going to lock the chat. From this point going forward, do us a favor. Any questions that you have, please direct them to the Q&A. Do not hesitate to throw any questions that you have into the Q&A. Not a problem at all at any time. We do have our three moderators, Dominique, Makata, and Colin, on deck to go ahead and answer your questions. That being said, today is all about auto route. We're going to be going through a quick route planner refresh, planning routes with auto routing, and of course, we're going to finish off with a Q&A, which should take about the next 20 to 25 minutes today. The first question that I have for you guys, the first poll question that I have you used Dispatch yet? So as I go ahead and I get my screen sharing changed over here, want to know if you guys have used Dispatch yet. Go ahead and answer that on in. We got plenty of answers flooding on in. All right, changing over my screen sharing here to get to my route planner. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds or so to answer. Have you used dispatch yet? Have you begun using it yet? Yes or no? Please let us know. All right, guys, another 10 seconds or so here. Still have a couple of folks going ahead and chiming on in. All right, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, going to go ahead and end that poll. All right. So, looks like about 40% of you have tried dispatch, but about 60% have not. And hopefully, after today, you feel even more confident. You're ready to use dispatch. And like I said, we did send out a link to book some time with your customer success manager or your onboarding specialist, that dedicated person to go through dispatch, make sure that you're taking advantage of this tool. You do have one capacity included in your membership. No reason not to be starting to play around with dispatch and getting a feel for how things go. All right. So I wanted to give you guys a quick tour of just what dispatch can do in the route planner without auto route. So we're going to ignore auto route for right now. If you have not seen dispatch yet, dispatch gives you the ability to see all of your stops on a particular day. If they are a pinpoint period of time, meaning you must arrive at that contract time, you can go ahead and drag and drop that right onto that particular time frame. If you have a window of time, it's going to let you drop that particular stop in that window. And of course, a to be determined stop, you can kind of just drop anywhere. You could drag it on any of the vehicles that you have. And depending on the capacity that you have, that's how many vehicles you can run on a particular day. So I have a capacity of 2 currently, which means I could use 2 vehicles on a particular day, or I could use 1 vehicle for multiple routes if I needed to. You're also able to extend or change the time on site when you're going ahead and building a route out. You can assign drivers to routes. And the goal here when it comes to like why we built this feature, just make things a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, get rid of that paper just so you can see how long is it going to take me to drive to a particular place, how many stops do I have on a particular day. I've already heard a couple of people have pulled up dispatch just to see, they pulled up the route planner and taken a look in the future and been like, oh, I already have 6 or 7 stops on that day. I really can't book another event that's going to deliver on this day. I have to instead ask this client to deliver the day before or the day after, what have you. So it's another great way to use dispatch. You pop into dispatch as a calendar view, see how many stops you have on a particular day. Of course, we do have the Google Calendar integration as well to see things on the calendar, but another helpful way that dispatch is going to save you time. Now, I have another quick question for you before I go ahead and show you the magic of auto route. Who has tried auto route already in your account? So another poll up on your screen. All right, folks kind of chiming on in. Wow, overwhelmingly, people have not yet tried auto route, have not used the AI feature that we have available to you to go ahead and put your routes together. I'll give you guys another 10 seconds or so to go ahead and answer your questions, answer this question, I should say. All right, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, we'll go ahead and end that poll. We have just barely 20% of you guys saying, yes, you have tried auto route. Everyone else saying, no, you have not tried it yet. After today's session, you're going to see how easy it is to get the blueprint of, all right, how am I going to deal with the number of stops that I have on a particular day without wasting time putting those stops together. So on this particular day, this coming Saturday, I'm taking a look. All right, I need to build out my routes for the day. Instead of needing to click, drag, and drop or anything like that, I am just going to go ahead and click on auto route. It's going to ask me, do I want to minimize duration or minimize travel distance? Minimize duration means that you might drive slightly farther, however, it's on faster speed limit roads. So it could be a few extra miles of driving, but it's going to be mostly highways, meaning you're going to be there as quick as possible. Minimized travel distance is going to be basically you're taking some more side roads. The mileage might be shorter, but it's still going to get you there. Mileage might be shorter. It might take you a little bit longer to get there. That's helpful. I know some folks have some EV vehicles, which aren't as efficient on the highway. So they want to drive less mileage, maybe on those side roads, might be a great option for minimizing travel distance. I have a box truck and a cargo van. I want to minimize the duration. I want to be on the road for as short of a time as possible. So I just go ahead and click build my routes. System's going to say, hey, the routes are optimized. And just like that, I have 2 routes put together on the map, totally optimized for that particular day. From here, you have the ability to change things around if you want to. You could take a quick look at something, be like, oh, you know what, this one, I wanted to actually extend that time or move things around, what have you. However, this is a great, great starting point, if not the full finisher of your route for that particular day. In this particular instance, as I'm going ahead and I'm taking a look at this, I could see that this is perfect for that particular day. It's giving me plenty of time in between my stops. I've got plenty of time in between each stop to get to the next one, plenty of time on site. And most importantly, it's only using 2 vehicles. So when you see 6 stops on your list, you might be like, oh, I have to use 3 or maybe even 4 vehicles to get that done. But the beauty of auto route is it's letting me know, no, you can accomplish this on just 2 vehicles. You'll be good taking just these 2 vehicles. That's going to save me salary and a driver. That's going to save me gas and depreciation on one of my vehicles. Really going to help me cut back on some costs because it's telling me, nope, this is the best, the most optimized route for that particular day based on all the stops that you do have. All right. Again, I do want to clarify that just because I've used auto route, I'm still in full control here. I can shorten this. I can change things around if I need to based on the contract signature. I can assign drivers still if I need to. I can also be like, you know what? No, I want to unschedule this and, move it on to a different vehicle. It's really getting that blueprint ready for you. If it's perfect, great. Go for it. Assign your drivers. Go ahead and take off. If you wanted to make any adjustments, you are still in the driver's seat, full pun intended, on putting these routes together. All right. Going to take a look at the next day, right? I still have some unscheduled stops here. You can see these blue dots mean I have unscheduled stops. The next day, March 16th, this is a Sunday. I don't know about you guys, but if I've ever left any equipment overnight or anything like that, I typically see that, all right, you guys got to get there in the morning or no later than noon to get your stuff and get out. So you'll see I have a couple of pinpoint arrivals. I got to get there at 9. I got to get there at 10. Another place I got to get at 10. A few other places a little bit more lenient. But then I do have 2 other stops that they were generous. They gave me a window of time. But I still got to get there early to get my stuff, get it out so they could flip the ballroom over or flip the event space over for the events coming in later that day. When I go ahead and I click auto route here, still going to ask me the same question. Hey, minimize duration or minimize travel distance. I'm just going to say, hey, build my routes. But as it's going here, it's going to tell me if I have a limited capacity based on what I have told Good Shuffle Pro my capacity is. So in this particular case, 2 stops were not routed due to vehicle capacity constraints. That means that even though I have 4 vehicles added to Good Shuffle, I only can run 2 vehicles on the same particular day. I have a capacity of 2. And with that constraint, it's saying, hey, you're not able to do this. If I click on OK, got it, it's still going to build the route for me and put everything together. And it's going to leave the 2 stops that I could not make right over here. So with these 2 stops, it's basically telling me, hey, you could not fit these in. You would have had a conflict. If I try to drop this stop in right over here, it's going to give me a conflict immediately and say, hey, can't take care of that. You're going to be overlapping. And that is where I came up with that capacity constraint. Again, with auto route, it's giving you that perfect blueprint. This is how you could start up or fully plan out your routes for the day. It's going to make sure to use the lowest amount of vehicles that you do have on any particular, that you need, I should say, for a particular day. Just like we saw on the 15th, even though I had 6 stops all near the same time, it put them together on just 2 vehicles for me. If it feels that, hey, you're going to be overbooked on this particular day, It's going to let me know you're going to need to add capacity, and absolutely reach out to us if you would like to talk about capacity. If you wanted to know the best way to add capacity to your account, we're happy to lend a hand. Again, AutoRoute is AI powered. We are using some intelligence to put the route together for you as quickly, as efficiently as possible. You are in the driver's seat. You can adjust things as much as you need. But in a nutshell, that is AutoRoute. Really do appreciate you jumping on the session today. Thank you so much for this quick GSP University session on how to use AutoRoute. Thank you guys so much.